Well, hello.
Hello.
It is so nice to meet you.
You too.
I am so glad that you could be here with us during this exciting time for you.
Thank you so much.
At the time of recording this, your album will be out in exactly a week from now.
It will be.
Um, it will no longer just be yours. It will be in everybody's ears. It'll belong
Because you're making
to
me nervous.
no.
already.
It'll belong to everyone else. Like
Yeah.
it's an exciting time. You've released things before, but this must be a whole new experience, new journey.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling? What's the energy? What's the vibe about a week from now?
I'm equal parts like nervous and I'm very excited. You know, like you said, I've had it for so long and I've been working on it for so long. And it's a bit of a weird feeling when you're just done with something and you have to let go of it and you've got to move on. Um, and and now it's not just your opinions that that get to be on that. It's everyone else's. So I am excited for people to hear. I'm excited to sing the songs. I feel like I find it really hard to like wait for things, and I often end up like sharing a lot of stuff rather than just waiting for people to hear it. But I am nervous. I won't lie. I am quite nervous.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's natural. I don't think it would be good if you weren't nervous.
I agree. Means I care.
It means you care a lot, and the care is evident in the music. I've listened to the record. I really enjoyed the record.
Thank you.
I think it's going to translate beautifully live.
Thank you.
You're a storyteller.
Mm.
Your words are lived experiences. Do you write better when you're looking at a lived experience that was in the past, or when you're living in it in the moment? Like, where do you feel like you write better?
It's a really good question. I think it's completely different types of writing. The way I used to write was during the experience, at like the height of the emotion, I guess. But a lot of the songs on the album were are very reflective songs. So like Down This Hill and The Visitor are like they're not just stories necessarily. They are like feelings that I've felt in so many different situations that I've like I analyze everything. I'm quite an overthinker, and I sit there and I think about why I feel this way and what led me to feel this way, and is anything connected to make me feel this way, and can I fix it, or am I just gonna feel this way forever? And those are all feelings that I felt from a really young age, that I've noticed in many parts of my life. So um, those ones are reflective and ones that I've looked back on. But I don't know if it's better. I don't know if I have an answer for you. I don't know if either one's better. I think you get completely different songs. And I think sometimes when you write in the height of the emotion, you often end up manifesting something
Oh,
in the
interesting.
future.
Mm-hmm.
Songs are like spells, though, in a weird way.
Is that how you look at them?
Kind of. It's how I've ended up looking at them, because I think I put something in a song and I think I'm very careful about the words I write now.
So you're a big manifester.
I think so.
Love
Not
that.
intentionally. I think
Okay.
unintentionally I seem to
You
manifest
speak
things.
things into well, I'm a big manifester, and I truly believe that if you say something enough, it happens. So I think there might be something there. If
Okay,
you
good.
put something into a song and you're singing this thing over and over and over again to a crowd where the energy is just coming at you, it's probably going to
Maybe
happen.
I'll put a song singing about £1,000,000.
Exactly.
And maybe I'll get that
exactly.
next time.
Exactly. Um, you recorded this record at some pretty iconic spots around the world. I mean, Electric Lady in New York, Abbey Road in London. Come on. Valentine in LA. How did the distinct historical geography of each studio play into the record? And do you feel like you gave something different performance-wise depending on where you were?
So I pretty much wrote the whole album at Valentine. Like I was able to go into to Electric Lady and Abbey Road for like a couple of days, which was a crazy experience.
Insane.
But I wrote and recorded pretty much the whole album at Valentine here, and it actually influenced so much of the album. The reason why the cover is orange is because in the Valentine is a studio from the 70s. The Beach Boys used it. It was Jimmy Valentine's, and it shut down and became a car part storage unit.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why they would do that. And then it reopened like maybe like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's completely the same. So they haven't changed anything from the 70s, none of the equipment, none of the walls. And if you walk in there, you feel like you're walking into a time capsule, and it's not like this kind of like fake vintage thing. It's like true.
Authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, authentic, like 70s equipment and these like mohair walls and like
Love.
carpeted walls. It's beautiful and it's so inspiring, and it's quite orange in there and wood, and that's kind of what the album looks like to me. So that's why the cover's orange. But it influenced so much of the album, and I can't write music with the windows. And it's a perfectly like, there's no windows in there. It's all dark, and I was in there for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, the song, and I made the whole band record everything in the same live room, so it all kind of sounded cohesive. Not sure if that actually did anything,
Well,
but I felt like it did.
no, if you felt like it did, it did. That's it. And I've read that most of the vocals are recorded in one take. Is that right?
Full takes, yeah.
Full takes, unedited takes. Why, and what do you think is lost when a vocal performance is kind of comped together?
Well, originally it came from me being a bit lazy, to be honest. I
Really?
didn't. Yeah, I just
I thought
couldn't.
there was some artistic, like,
No, well now maybe now it is, but like at first I was like, oh god, I kept getting stopped, and I was like, no, I just wanted to do it in one take and be done with it. And now, the music I grew up loving was like jazz and soul records from like the 60s and 70s, and there was no comping or punching in there. It was to tape, and so you just did a full take, and those are some of my favorite vocal performances of all time. One of my favorite vocal performances is Roberta Flack, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? And that was definitely, a full take. Like, it was definitely to tape. And I think it's just so human. The imperfections make it feel intimate and make you feel like you're there with the artist. And it's very powerful. And hearing someone recording it, like you hear like brushing of like clothes or like jewelry, it feels very human and intimate, and that is kind of why I still do it now. And I like to also know that I can sing something like fully live,
Yeah. I like how you kind of mention the perfection of it and the imperfection of it. Where is the line between technical perfection and emotional truth for you? Is there a line?
I think there's a line. I think when you stop feeling it, that's when, like, if you get to, and I've definitely done this a few times when I'm like, let's change the reverb here and change the snare. I know nothing. I don't know about different snares, but sometimes you want to get a bit involved with it, and you're changing things that don't necessarily need to be changed. And I think when you start doing that and you're losing the thing that made you feel something when you first heard it and the thing that made you connect with it, I think that's when you've crossed a line that never needed to be crossed in the first place.
As a fellow overthinker, how do you know when to take your hands off? How do you does someone tell you, or are you like, actually, I feel like this is done? How do you know?
I think it's different for me. I could always keep going back and keep trying things and keep perfecting things. I think the person I made the whole album with is Omar, and he taught me a lot about that and learning about giving a song what it wants rather than what you want it to have. And I think I definitely used to add way too much, and I think less is more, and I definitely go by that now. But I think when I'm told to take my hands off, like because of the deadline, that's when I would. But sometimes there's some songs that you're just like, there's nothing physically more that could possibly be added to this, and that doesn't necessarily mean it has loads on it. Some of the songs that are just piano, like this is a piano song, and that is what it would be.
You have mentioned before that Marvin Gaye's ability to ensure that a song had a clear point of existing was important to you. How do you enforce that kind of rule of justifying why a song exists?
That's a really good question, because I actually think about this a lot, and I think there's so much in the world at the moment, and there's so much like content and like music and films and so much we can watch and take in and see and hear, that sometimes it's hard to know what's important. And I don't have a direct answer, but I do think about it when I'm making things and when I'm writing. I won't ever write anything for the sake of writing it if I don't feel it's necessary to be said, or if I'm not feeling it so passionately enough to fight for it, then I wouldn't say it's necessary. But I don't know, it's a really good question, and I think it's really something to think about, and for everyone to think about putting anything out, you know.
Totally.
Is it truly something worth sharing?
Yeah, especially people with platforms.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who deals with ADHD and OCD and all of the things, I appreciate how open you've been about your story and about your journey. For many individuals, everyday life requires a certain amount of performance.
Yeah.
So when you step onto stage as Sienna Spiro, is that the ultimate mask, or is that the one place you feel like you can actually just like take it off?
I think so. In a weird way, when I'm performing, I think that's the least amount of masking I do.
I've heard a lot of performers say that.
Bit weird, isn't it?
It's
such a
it's
paradox.
so weird because it's like so many faces looking at you.
Yeah.
As much as it debilitates me a lot of times, I feel like it also helps me a lot in my
100%.
especially with what I do, making sure that my questions are perfect, that my everything. I could spend hours on one question. How does it help you?
I think it helps me in a lot of ways. But what I will say is that I think there's a really weird misconception about it that it's something wrong, and it's just a fact. It's just a fact of how people's brains work. It's like saying you've got longer legs than I do, you know? Like, okay, and your brain works this way and your brain works this way. It's just something to be aware of. I think it makes me a much more creative person, and I think the way I write my songs, like I said, I'm very analytical, just, you know, like just personally, I just analyze everything about myself and every interaction I have. And I think it's kind of evident in a lot of my songs. I think a song like The Visitor is a song where I got very hyperfixated on this idea of being a visitor to somebody and like exploring what that meant in my life and analyzing every situation. And the reason I wrote it 9 times was because I just didn't feel like it was capturing enough of the ways I felt like a visitor in my life and in these situations, and I wouldn't feel comfortable putting the song out, being like, oh, I missed that part, like I missed this experience. And I think, you know, a part of having ADHD is hyperfixating on something and getting really obsessed with something and being able to like break stuff down and analyze it in certain ways and compartmentalize, and that is a huge part of my life. And I don't think songs like that would exist if I didn't think in ways like that.
Well said.
Thank you.
You know,
so I'm really bad at talking.
No, you're
I
not.
find it really hard to articulate myself just by talking. That's why I write songs.
you feel like you can say things in songs that you can't say in person?
Yeah, I find it really hard to just talk. I'm not a very articulate person when I'm just, you know, talking in everyday life. I find it really hard to remember things. And I get really frustrated when I walk away from like certain things like this, because I write everything I feel down, you know, so I can remember it. And then when I walk away, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say that. And that's really why I started writing songs, because even though I want to so badly express myself, I can't. I could never just do it by a conversation.
Totally. You're one of those people after an argument and you're like, dang, I should have said
Every
this.
time. Every time, by the way.
Like an hour later, you're like, dang, he was a killer. I could have killed him with this one.
Yep. Every time.
You know, kind of going down that same line, you know, you've admitted to having a lot of fear, particularly about things ending, which I think is really interesting. How do you kind of juggle that as you celebrate the new beginnings of this career? Because your career is very much beginning. How do you juggle that?
I'm trying. How do I juggle with things starting and things ending? I mean, I wrote a whole album about the fear of things ending. The last song on the album is a song called Mono no Were, which is a Japanese phrase that means the gentle sadness of knowing everything beautiful is temporary and loving it more because it won't last. And I before finding that phrase was very, very closed-minded to entering anything that might have an expiry date on it. So a relationship, a friendship, any kind of anything that I would deem would end and would leave me hurt or upset or feeling like I lost something, because I felt that a lot in like the earlier parts of my life, and I just didn't want to feel that again. And when I found this phrase, it's an obvious thing. Everything ends. You know, we all die. Everything expires at some point, really. And after finding that phrase, I really decided to just reshape the way I thought things, and I really allowed experiences to matter whilst not forcing them to be permanent. And this whole, there's a line in that song, it's like, it's okay to love, it's okay to lose, the beauty is you don't have to choose. And I'm a control freak, and that was something I really had to like grapple with. And my older sister really helped me with stuff like that. We really can't control everything. And I think, this whole album is about learning to love something whilst knowing it's not going to last. And it's still something I'm figuring out, but it's definitely the way I look at things now. I really allow things to mean something to me, and I take them for what they are, and I allow them to move on, and I take what I've learned from that, and I try and apply it to whatever I'm doing next.
Yeah.
Not saying I do that every time, but I'm trying my best to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, especially with the journey that you're on now, there's no rule book, there's no guidebook on how to handle things like this.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I applaud you. I think you've done a really good job, and you've got a great head on your shoulders.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I want to move on to the tour.
Yes.
Which I'm so excited
We just were speaking about
Which we were just speaking about. You're going all over the place, including
New Zealand.
You're taking it all around the world.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled for you.
Thank you.
Completely sold out. You had to add new dates because of the demand, which also went and sold out. 135,000 people bought tickets before this album has even come out. It's insane.
God, they really must trust me.
I think.
Imagine if they hate it and they bought a ticket.
No, I think they'll dig it.
I'll be furious.
I think they'll dig it. I think the record is a good kind of like transition from what we've heard and to what you're growing to be as an artist. And I'm excited to see how you translate that live. But what I thought was really interesting is you made the active choice to implement Ticketmaster's face value exchange for this, which means that if people were to resell the tickets, they have to sell them for the price that they bought them for. Why was that important to you?
I think it's ridiculous, this whole ticket prices reselling. Like I don't think I was aware. I've just started touring. This is like my third. This is my first real big tour, but like second like headline tour. And I remember when I was in the States, these like lovely girls were telling me they paid like $700 for a ticket. It's ridiculous, to be honest. And I've now been made like fully aware to this whole like reselling thing and like what people do. They like these bots buy tickets and resell them for like extortionate prices, and I think that's outrageous, to be honest. And that is not what concerts are about and what music is about and what going to see a show is about. I feel like it's obvious why I did it, to be honest. I think it's just absurd that it can even happen. Like, I don't even know. I hope this does something, but like, it goes so beyond.
No, yes. I like how you say it's obvious, and it should be obvious.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's kind of disgusting, to be honest. And
it's insane. And
I'm not sure what sick people do that, but yeah.
Here's the thing. Big fans will buy them. Like, you mentioned the fan that paid $700.
But that's horrible to hear. I always apologize when people say that, because I just think. Anyway, I think it's obvious why I did it, but I think it's also absurd that I'm not even sure that's going to stop it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's absurd. I'm excited to see how, as I say, this translates live. You're taking the album, you're turning it into a live experience. When you're in the studio, are you thinking about that, or is it kind of like that comes later?
I'm always thinking about live music. I'm always thinking about how things will feel playing them live, just because that's really my favorite thing to do, is to sing live. But the whole album is really recorded with live musicians, and it's all pretty much live as it is. So I feel like that's what's really exciting about this project, about this album. I had the privilege to work with some of the most incredible musicians I think I've ever seen in my life. We had this incredible man called George Doering come in, who is, I can't even tell you. He's a magical creature of a man, and he comes in with these like 3 like big crates, and he has about 7 of them, with like, they're like huge. They're massive, and he comes in with them and gets out these instruments that I've never even heard of in my life, and you know that's he plays for films, but you know that dream sound that's like,
Yeah.
he has that instrument.
What instrument is that?
I don't know. I'll show you the video.
My God,
It's
please.
nuts.
That's
But
crazy.
he has like all these instruments. Larry Gold, who's like, I can't even believe he agreed to do this. Dylan Day, who's an incredible guitarist. Lamar Carter. Oma played guitar on most of the songs. Paul Cornish, who's an unbelievable pianist. I'm a huge fan of musicians, and I cannot believe I was lucky enough to get to work with these musicians on my debut album. I actually never thought I'd get to do that.
Like, a debut album is insane.
Yeah.
The fact that the story is just beginning is insane. Like, I love that you're so excited and you genuinely seem to love it. It's refreshing to see.
I really do.
Good. As
I
you
really
should.
do.
I like when people that genuinely love it get rewarded for that.
Thank you.
But thank you for your time.
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
energy.
I wish we had longer to talk.
No, I could go on forever, but
Me-
I so appreciate you.
Thank you. You too.
I will see you on the road.
See
Appreciate
you next album.
Cheers.
Thank you.